Sold to the gentleman in blue. Thank you, sir.
$20,
$20?
25 do nothing.
No. It's not worth that.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do it, folks. We're gonna buy this big ass spinel here that's kind of damaged, and this one, $10 each. So that's 300 rupees each. All right, that's what we're gonna do. These are both spinel. This one's way better. All right, hold on, guys. Let me weigh this one up. All right, this is a 375 spinel for $10 and a 18 karat spinel for $10. Sold. So starting off with our girdle, we have 8 facets, and it's going to look like this on the outside, on the right side there. And let me show you what we got. We've so far done 180 grit and 600. And I know what you're thinking. Look at all those inclusions. It's crushed inside. It's cracked inside. Right? Will it hold together is the question. You know, we only paid $10 at the Ratnapura market for this big spinel in Sri Lanka. So I figured we'd take a chance on it and do something crazy. Can we turn a $10 huge UV Florescent Spinel into $500? Is that times 50? Is that a possibility in the market in Sri Lanka? Lots of inclusions. It's big. Let me know in the comments. Am I just a bottom feeder, a little crab at the bottom of the ocean, eating garbage? Or maybe it's just good practice rough. Maybe I should have just cabbed it. Or am I gonna take this thing and turn it into a jewel? So now we'll start doing our facets on the pavilion, and we'll get some meat points going here on our girdle, and hopefully some of these inclusions will go away, and we'll see what we're dealing with once we polish this up. So 52.07. I've got the pavilion meeting up with the girdle, 180 grit. So it's almost like a preform. On our $10 UV Florescent Red Spinel from Sri Lanka, Ratnapura market. These are our P1 and P2 facets at 600 grit. We're gonna do 1500 grit next, then 8,000, and then 60,000 to get them polished. And that's what it's looking like so far. We've got our spinel polished to 60,000 grit. And we're focusing on the areas near the girdle, not at the tip of the pavilion, because that's going to get faceted with new facets on top of that. You can control that with the knob behind the spinel here, up or down, and that will help you polish the top or the bottom of the facet. All right, so there are inclusions obviously in here, but we're going to get rid of some more of them as we go deeper into the stone. So here's what's going to happen next. We've done the P1 and the P2. Now we're going deeper with the P3 and P4. And those are right here at 42.29 and 41 degrees. And then the pavilion will be done, and we'll get it on the dot transfer. So let's get that set up. This is the P3 facets, and they're coming down almost to the girdle. You want to leave a little space there because the 8,000 grit will get you there. And then we're going to do 60,000 on top of that. This is our P4 facets at 1,200 grit. And we're almost to the girdle on them, but not quite. Leave some room for the 8,000 grit to finish them off. Would you have cabbed this or faceted this spinel? Looks like a piece of crackle glass, but it's going in the dot transfer. It held together. It should be maybe 6, 7, 8 carats and we're done. So our transfer jig. This glue's working out real good. I probably only lost like 3 or 4 off the dot ever. Okay. This is what Ultratech sells, Loctite 404. Right there. We'll see you in the morning. We've got our stone flipped over and we're on the crown. And the sponge is used to tell which line you're on. If you're just glancing back and forth, you could make a mistake. And you might have to restart your whole crown or pavilion. So we're at 32 degrees, and we got 4 facets. And I'm gonna use the 180 grit to get things started. I always try to do that in the first set of facets, just to speed it up. In class, my instructor had me grinding on 600 for like an hour when I could have done it in 5 minutes with this. So, very steep angle. Anytime you're like below 40, you really want to be careful going to this side over here. It will throw the stone off on this side over here, but not on this side, with this being the center point. And my wheel's turning this way, okay? So be careful on these steep angles. This is where you throw your stone off. Imagine only having the stone come off the dot like 3 times since I left class. Now in class, they had us using some Mickey Mouse super glue. And so this is what Ultratech sells, and that does not come off the dot. Where if you just go down to the drugstore or Walmart and buy some super glue, it's not the same, okay? I don't even need to use epoxy. I just use that. There's glue and stuff on there. That glue will come off as we facet. That makes it really easy. I don't use wax, it's just too easy with the glue. And you just dip it in acetone when you're done. So on the Ultratech, what you'll do is you'll just lower this wheel here and you'll hear it start grinding. All right, that locks it in place. So you slowly lower it down. Probably it's on 4, the speed. Just keep lowering it down. And you can see the wheel is higher over here on the sides and this side. So the wheel is higher on the outsides and the inside. This is just some cheap wheel from High Tech Diamond, but it works. You can see how loud it is if I go back forward. Now I'm not trying to go back here because it might throw it off the dot, especially when you first start. It's the most dangerous time when you just first start. Okay, so anyway, let me grind on this for a while and I'll show you how it's looking once we get the 180 done. This is what it looks like at 180 grit. It took me about 10 minutes. If you would use the 600 grit, it could have taken you an hour or 2. But I did not bring it all the way down. We still got some girdle there. And see, this one's not even complete. We gotta go a little farther on this one. This one's really the problem. But we'll bring that down with 600. And that'll get the deep scratches out of the stone that I'm putting in it with the 180 grit. So don't go all the way, but save yourself some time with the 180 and get there. But don't go all the way. You're basically just shaping it or preforming it with the 180, okay? That's how I do it, and I save a lot of time. When I was in faceting class, they'd have us grinding on this thing for hours. It was annoying. It didn't even make any sense to me since I build furniture also. So for us, it's about speed. How fast can we build the furniture? At the same time, have quality. You're looking at 60,000 grit. The bottom of the facets are polished where the tops are not. So basically that wheel behind you in the video, that controls whether you do up or down. When you go down, it polishes near the girdle. When you go up, it polishes near the pavilion tip. Now, it'll never be perfect because there's so many inclusions inside of here. And some of them are touching the surface. It's like crackle glass. But nothing has fallen off the stone while I faceted it. So it's gonna hold together. It's gonna be a beautiful big spinel. And it costs $10 in the market in Ratnapura, Sri Lanka. All right, so that set's done. And this is why you don't need to polish the top of the facet, because it's a C1. All the top of this is going bye-bye, okay? So I'm only worried about the very bottom there. That's the only thing I care about. All right, C2 over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On C2, and the angle does change. So it's very interesting faceting diagram. It's called Gold Octagon from 1980. Tom Ricks. Here's our next set of facets coming down to meet the girdle. And this is 600 grit. So let me get it to 60,000 grit and I'll show you. This is 60,000 grit. And our crackle spinel is looking beautiful. And we got a bunch more facets to go on this one. All right, so what we got here is, that was C2. Now we got to go to C3. And it's 8 cuts. And over here on the diagram, you see C1, C2 are done. Now we're going to C3. And then C4 and C5. And hopefully the table takes out some more of those inclusions on top. Now I've cut in these facets with 1200 because you don't want to go very far once you get this far into your faceting diagram. Only in the beginning will you use 180 to clean up the rough. Now this is a job for somebody who's very OCD, okay? It can be very detail oriented. You cannot make mistakes. So for example, you're laughing at my blue sponge over here and you're just saying, hey, I don't need that. I'm just gonna just go like that. And you look down here and you grab 68, right? You put it on your dial 68, but in reality, it was 69. As you're just grabbing numbers, you're gonna make a mistake. Oh, was I on this line or that line? Where was I at? I don't know. I'm right there. All right, I'm on C3. So I'm just going through those over and over again, the 03 through 93. Here we are at 60,000 grit. Everything's looking great. We've got a nice thin girdle to keep the Facetors Guild happy. No, they're not liking my fat girdles. I'm stacking carats in the girdle. But it's looking good. Trying to do things the right way. And I'm trying to turn this $10 spinel into something special. So let's move on to C4. Very steep angles, 23.15. We got 8 facets here. And then the C5, and then the table. Here's 1200 grit. See, I'm not coming down to the girdle all the way. I'm leaving a little teeny bit. That way the 8,000 grit can cut into that, because it will cut in some. You do not want to start your whole crown over again, right? I'm coming in quick and fast and to the edge, but I'm not going to overcut it. This is the 60,000 grit, diamond grit. It's looking good. All the beautiful inclusions on our spinel. Now what's funny here is, I just read this at the bottom of the diagram. Stone shall be cut in synthetic spinel, clear or any color. I didn't even know it was supposed to be a spinel stone. I just got lucky, I guess. C5 facets, leave up 0.5 millimeter So your 8,000 can cut it in. And I'm cutting this with 1200 grit. See that? I'm leaving a little teeny bit. See that? The 8,000 will get you there quick. And there's our meet point at 60,000 grit. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's put the table on it. And when you're doing your table, this is a safe way to do it. Use a tabling tool. You attach it with this little X key. And you get it flat on your lap. Set it at 45. And then that way it doesn't get caught and throw your stone off at the end. All right, so that's Ultratech's tabling tool, and I use it. You can stick this thing straight down and do a 90 degree on it if you want, but I'm not that brave. And that's what it looks like once you put your stone in there in the dop. And here's your cheater tool. So if you did throw your stone off the dop, you'd have to adjust this to change the angle on your table. And I haven't had to do that since my instructor threw mine off my dop in class, because I'm not using Mickey Mouse glue. We're always going to be using the Loctite 404 no matter what. And here we go. And that's it. Bada bing, bada bang. See the meat points lining up on the table? So let's weigh it up and see what it weighs. Our beautiful crackle spinel. UV fluorescent. Oh my god. $10?